Like, why let more anxiety come? It doesn't make sense to have so much anxiety to get somewhere, and then you get there and you have even more anxiety.
As a friend, as a medical student, what would you tell me? Good morning, it is Wednesday the 6th of March and I'm making kind of like a vlog style video because I haven't made one of those in a while. Oh god, my voice is going. And I thought I would do this video today because I'm meeting Kenji after work and we've got a video planned together. Then we made a video on his channel where he interviewed me about some of my experiences of, you know, getting into medicine and all of that fun stuff. But at the time that we were filming, we only had time to film one person's video. So I said that we could film his first and then film mine later, since mine's probably going to be more of a casual vlog. It is a really grey day and I'm sad about it. Let me just show you what it looks like. This is what it looks like. Do you see those dark clouds? That means I should be taking an umbrella, except I have lost my umbrella and I broke my other one. Perfect location, except it's raining and I got my hair done tomorrow. Anyway, I digress. I will see you guys when I next see you. Hello, look who I'm with.
I'm back.
Who's back? So as I promised this morning, hang on, my lens is being funny. As I promised this morning, today's more of like a hangout and we are at our favourite place.
It's true, it is true.
I feel like I should get commission on this place.
You honestly should.
I've introduced like most of my friends to this Cafe Nero.
And I bump into Atousa here every single time.
Yeah,
she goes here with her friends, I go here with my friends.
Yeah, I know.
And they're bumping into each other.
Exactly. And we're going to go and film a bit of a catch-up video and then probably just hang in there and edit, right?
Yep, that's the plan.
Alright, see you soon. So, change of plan. We realised that we can't film inside the Nero because they are playing music and my video could get taken down because of copyright.
Problems of a YouTuber.
Problems of a YouTuber. So, where are we going?
Campus. Go somewhere on campus and try to find a room or an empty place where we can film.
Yeah, so we might go to find the same place that, well, go to the same place that we filmed your video.
Yeah.
Links on his channel, guys. And yeah, so we're going to have a chat. I'm going to quiz Kenji on what to expect on medical school. Did I already?
I'm nervous for this interview / quiz.
Don't be. Just a casual conversation. And then afterwards we'll catch up with you then. Oh my god, it's really busy. Have I not shown what?
Well, this is the new part of campus.
Yeah, so do you want to explain? This is the new part of campus, which...
So this is the new part of campus that was made just after summer. So I think it's called, is it called the Colonnade or something?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called, but there's a science gallery in there.
Oh yeah.
It has really cool exhibitions and it's free, so if you're ever on campus, go check that out.
Yep.
Really nice coffee in there as well.
Yes.
And we revise here sometimes, like we sit on the side on the chairs and just revise during the day.
Not on a day like this. Yep, look,
yeah,
coffee mug.
The guys' chaplaincy's here as well, so I go for mass there sometimes. And it's right next to Shard, so yeah.
Perfect location. Except it's raining and I got my hair done tomorrow. And,
don't ruin that.
Like, and you don't want Kenji's hair to be ruined either.
Well, I haven't had a haircut yet. I was supposed to have a haircut for this video, but I didn't have time, so it's already
I was prepared. Alright, okay, my hair's getting ruined now.
It's on?
Okay, I think that's like third time lucky. Hi guys! So it started raining and then we tried to find the place that we filmed last time and we couldn't. Well, we could find it, but there was just somebody who was sat in there and it would just be a bit awkward. So we found another empty room and here we are. And we have some lovely background music of the trucks outside. Do you think they can hear that?
I hope not. Possibly not. I think you're right.
Okay, it's fine. We're not going to move anyway. Yeah, so we're literally just hanging out, and I think off camera we've been talking about just life in general.
Life as YouTubers, the struggles and stuff.
Exactly. And I just wanted to, I mean, like, genuinely, I just wanted to have a chat to you and say, okay, so it's March now. It's March the 6th, and I will be starting my course in September in Birmingham. And you guys probably already know this, but Kenji did his undergrad in Birmingham.
I'm an alumni, Birmingham alumni. It's great. It's crazy to say that.
Yeah, I mean, like, as a friend, as a medical student, what would you tell me? As an alumni?
About Birmingham?
What would you say to somebody, or like, what would you say to like a friend who's about to start medicine?
I'd say it's get prepared for the best time of your life. I think, like, it may not be the best time of your life, but it's definitely, for me, one of the highlights of my life. And looking back on my time starting King's and just starting medicine was the best thing ever, because you spend so much of your time like trying to get to med school and trying to do this, you know. And when you finally make it, it's just it's a great feeling, and it's such an adventure.
No, I know, and like we talk about this all the time off camera, and I always think it's so nice to speak to you about medicine because you're so, like, you have so much gratitude for it. And I think it's lovely because, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying like other people don't. It's just, obviously, it's difficult, isn't it? You have your frustrations, but like, I always talk to Kenji when I'm stressed because he calms me down. He's like, no, it's great, like, you're gonna be fine.
Maybe I'm too positive sometimes. Maybe I'm like, yeah, I give too many positive things.
For me personally, it's kind of a good mix to have certain friends who are like very realistic and they tell you, be prepared for this, be prepared, but it's also nice to be like, actually no, like there are really good things about it.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, there are like stressful times.
What do you talk about some of the stressful times? I don't even think like we talk about like stressful times off camera.
It's true. I think for me, the stressful times weren't actually medicine. It was the things that happen outside medicine that happen in my life.
Yeah.
Medicine itself, actually, I don't find that stressful. I think there's like, it's seasonal, so there's seasons of a lot of stress. Like exam seasons, like I have my OSCEs coming up in like 2 weeks. So that period of time will be stressful. And like the period of time during your exams, that's stressful because there's not much time and so much content to learn. So those periods of times are quite stressful. Other than that, because I remember like in biomed, would always have like a low level of anxiety. Because you always had coursework to do. You always had a hand-in deadline. Whereas medicine, well, in King's at least, we don't really have many deadlines. So for the majority of the year, it's like, it's very stress-free. And then you have 1 or 2 months of intense stress. But I like it. I really enjoy it. I like having periods of just stressful times. I think I can personally deal with better than I can a low level of anxiety all the time.
Yeah, no, I get you. Yeah, so I'm trying to think, because we've just had such an intense conversation.
You know, we should have actually recorded our conversation off camera, because that was like, that was deep conversation.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like what do I personally want to know?
Because we talk about medicine all the time anyway, so I feel like you already know a lot anyways.
Well, this is the thing, the whole point of this vlog was to hang out with a second year medic, so why don't you just tell us what's going on? At the beginning of this video, I promised them that you're going to share some Budapest stories, because Kenji does a lot of travelling, so why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Okay, so what's going on in my life? So yeah, so Budapest, I'll talk about that as well. So I was in Budapest the last weekend, so I was there from Saturday to Monday, and that was really good. It was really cool. In medicine, in King's at least, all of our lectures were recorded, so I was literally on the plane watching all the lectures, so I didn't actually miss out that much. And as I said, it was like a low level, we didn't have much stress during this time of year. So I went to Budapest, it was great. But something crazy happened, and I told Atousa about this.
Oh yeah.
So on the way back to the airport, and I was sat next to my friend, so it was me and my best friend who went on holiday together. And so we're both on our laptops, like trying to like, watch our lectures on the bus. And then like out of the corner of my eye, like this guy just collapsed. And so everyone was like around him trying to hold him up to keep him up. And then I was like, Richard, like hold my stuff, it's time to be a doctor. And the time was finally come.
Hold my bag.
But no, I was like really nervous, but I was really scared, and I was like, okay, I need to do something. So I gave Richard my laptop, and I went over to see what was happening. And I was like, do you guys speak English? And they're like, yeah, we do speak English, because he was with his girlfriend. And I was like, I'm a medical student, like, can I help him? And they were like, yes, please do. So they were trying to hold him up, so just stand him up, like take him to the window to get some fresh air, throwing water in his face. But I was like, no, he needs to lie down, because when you lose consciousness, a lot of times your brain, or the blood vessels in your brain dilate for some reason. Yeah, so your blood pressure drops, or all the blood pressure pulls at your legs, because he might have been standing up for a while. So I was like, no, he needs to go on the floor. So everyone else helped me to put him on the floor, lying flat. And then I was asking like, his girlfriend, does he have any medical conditions, to try and see if it's something we could do. Because for example, if he had, I know this is supposed to be a chat, but this study like a medical thing.
No, it's interesting. It's a life of a second year medical student.
But yeah, so if he had like, if he was diabetic and he took too much insulin, he might have a hypoglycemic episode. He might be epileptic. And if it's a diabetic situation, we can handle that with a glass of juice, and he'll come back straight away. But as we laid him down, he regained consciousness straight away, which is good, because I was so scared. I was like, if he doesn't regain consciousness, obviously I know that we've been taught like basic life support, but on dummies, and I was prepared to like obviously do it, but breaking someone's ribs with CPR on a bus is like the worst thing you could ever imagine. And I was on holiday, so I was like, I just came from a bath, I came from a spa, I'm so chill right now. Like, I was literally on the bus, just like lying down, and this guy collapses, and I was like, wow, like what's gonna happen?
That's crazy though, because this would have been like your first experience of having to jump into action, and like how was it? Like,
it's pretty cool.
Scary though, I bet.
Yeah, I mean it was scary. Like, I was sweating and stuff. I was scared. I was like quite scared. But at the same time, like surprisingly, like all of the knowledge that you've learned does come to your head. Like the things they grill us on, like A, B, C, D, E, assessing patients in that way, comes straight to your head. So I knew straight away what to do, and it was really scary. But also, after that, I was really happy that I actually, you kind of remind yourself that you are a medical student, and I might only be a second year, but there's still stuff that you can do. Yeah, and then I got to the airport, and then we forgot.
I know the person collapsed.
Oh god, I wish. No, actually, I do wish that. But no, we got to the airport, and we realised that we didn't check in. There was like a time limit, because we thought like you get to the airport and you get on your phone, you get your phone out, and you just check in. But apparently the check-in closes like 3 hours before. So I was like, I just tried saving this guy's life, and I'm getting fined £50. Like, what type of karma is that? That's what happened. I got fined £50, and then I guess the boarding gate. And then they're like, oh, sorry, your bag is slightly, too big.
Oh no.
No, they're like, oh, sorry, we only allowed backpacks on our flights, not like tiny suitcases.
Yeah.
So I find another £20. So the flights went from like 140 to 210, and I was like, Karma, please.
And also tell them what happened, that you had to pay extra for your hostel as well.
Oh, that too. Oh gosh, yeah. So we show up at the hostel, and it's the worst place I've ever been to in my life. It was like the pictures online were great. Like it looked so good. Yeah. The reviews were so good. So we were expecting like 5-star hostel. I don't even know if they do stars for hostels, but we were expecting a really good hostel. And like we walk in, and me and Richard look at each other like. What have we just done? And I was like, and he just went silent, and I was like, Richard, like, what are you thinking? Tell me. And he was like, I'm thinking you booked this bloody place. So that happens, and then we're like sweating, like, oh gosh, we'd have to live here for the next 3 days. But then the guy goes, oh, I'm really sorry, but we didn't actually receive we received your booking, but we haven't like checked it. I don't know, something like, oh, we haven't received a booking from Hostel World for like 10 years. So he gave us a deposit back, and we're like, yes, like, thank God.
That's so
so we were so happy to leave the hostel, and we found a nice Airbnb.
I feel like it's been like, it's one of those weekends where you just come back and you're just like, oh my God.
I was literally like, oh, what just happened? But no, it was a good weekend. It was good. It was nice to get away from like King's and med school for a while.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're still like working there. Like when we had nothing to do, or if Richard's in the shower, or we're getting ready, I just get my laptop out and I'd do some work. Reply to emails, watch some lectures. So it actually turned out to be pretty good.
Okay, so that's another thing I've got to. I kind of want to ask you medicine related. I think it's really good that you always are on the go. Yeah. Do you feel like you have to do that a lot in medicine? Do you feel like you either you kind of always have to have it at the back of your head even when you're on a holiday and stuff? Or do you think you just enjoy doing it, so you think?
You mean in terms of like just doing medicine all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when I first started medicine, I had like this problem where I always felt like I needed to do something. I always felt, because in medicine there's always something more you can do. There's always more you can revise. There's always an exam you have to prepare for. There's always something to do. And I think I got used to just having things on my to-do list, and I'll never tick them off. Like it's just an ever-growing list that shortens and gets longer and shortens and gets longer. But I think I overcame that barrier. I actually had a conversation with my mum, and I was like, Mum, I was like, I'm finding it quite hard because I always feel like I should be working. And she was like, shout out to my mum, but she was like, the hard part for you was to get on the boat. And now that you're on the boat, all you have to do is just sail,
That's really good advice, because I have that personality where if I'm not constantly doing something, and I'm not even talking about work. I mean, you've met me. It's just like, Atousa, what are you doing? I'm up at 5 AM, like washing the dishes.
Yeah, like, she gives me anxiety. Whenever I text Atousa and I'm in bed, like in my boxes eating a piece of cake, and Atousa's like, oh, recording a video. And I'm like, oh my God.
Okay.
Worst time.
No. Okay, but can I just say, like this morning I was really annoyed because I was like, okay, I'm going to get up at 5, I'm going to prepare, I'm going to film a video before work, and then I'm going to film a video after work with Kenji, because I'm just nuts, okay? I don't recommend this. And then I ended up getting really annoyed because it turns out when you get up at 5 o'clock in March, the sun doesn't come up when you want it to come up. So I had to wait until 8 o'clock to film anyway.
Oh, gosh.
And then I ended up having to like rush to work. So come on, what the hell? Like I can't wait for it to be summer so that the sun cooperates with my filming schedule.
Oh man, just the sun. Gosh, what is it doing?
What is it doing? Exactly. I have such a difficult life. What can I say?
Gosh, yeah.
I'm proving my own point here. Okay, this is not good because I do this thing where I constantly feel like I have to do something.
Yeah.
If it's not work, it's like, oh, I need to like text back and organize loads of things with my friends, and I have to constantly like do something.
Yeah.
It's just that low-level anxiety I don't think has left. And my job right now in the lab is always a bit like that, because you're always having to think about experiments. It's just like, okay, so in 3 days I have to do this, and then in 2 days. Or maybe it's just my personality. I think your mum's advice is golden.
No, it is, honestly.
I really wish I could adopt that mindset before starting medicine.
As soon as she told me that, like all of my anxiety just went away. And I was like, it's true, like we work so hard to get where we are. Like why let more anxiety come? It doesn't make sense to have so much anxiety to get somewhere, and then you get there and you have even more anxiety. Surely like there should be a point where it's relieved.
No, I totally agree.
Which is why I went to Budapest, and I was like, we did very little work. I do say we did some work, but very little work, and I've gotten used to just accepting that there will always be stuff on my to-do list. And there will be always more to revise for and prepare for. And like that, it doesn't stop when you get to medicine. Like even when you're a consultant, you'll still be expected to know stuff and keep up to date with knowledge. So I think it's really important to get to that point. But also I have the same personality of you, like as you do to a certain extent. So I find it very hard.
Medics do.
I think so.
We're all a little bit like neurotic.
We're
I think.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, just a little bit.
But I do find it hard to just sit down and like watch Netflix sometimes. Like it is very important to do that, 100%. But like, which is why I started YouTube, because I needed something to occupy my free time with. You know, like now I love editing videos, and it's more like I am chilling just at home editing videos. But at least for me, it makes me feel like
it's
it
like
satisfies.
productive chilling.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
it's productive chilling, exactly, and it satisfies that anxiety side of me. You know, so even when I was in Budapest, when I was recording videos, I was like, at least it's something productive.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, I'm so glad to hear you say that, because I always think, oh, you know, you're so chill. Like, how are you? But that's good to know.
Yeah.
I think I've learned this about myself recently, that that little level of like anxiety and stuff may never go away. But that's not necessarily a bad thing as long as you can control it.
100%. Yeah.
So, like when I say, okay, I'm going to do the dishes, or I'm going to go for a walk or something, like I'll listen to an audiobook or I'll catch up on like a podcast or something, and it makes me feel like I'm still doing something I enjoy.
Definitely.
But it's also something that kind of, it's productive, but it also helps me switch off.
No, I agree completely. Yeah, the podcast, like even if you're washing dishes, I listen to a podcast, I'm like, oh, I'm washing dishes, but I'm being productive, you know? I don't know if I'm tricking myself, but it definitely feels very productive, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
But I think, I think it's something, maybe it's, I don't know if it's a personality thing or it's just, if it's medicine in general, but...
Let us know, like if any of you guys are either aspiring medics or are medical students or are doctors, let us know what you think about this topic, because I'm really interested.
Definitely.
Most of my friends who are medics are like that. Like even like the doctors who are, you know, in their 30s, they're a bit more senior, I've noticed that there's always a little level of like tweaking anxiety.
Yeah.
I've definitely noticed this.
Definitely. I think it's sometimes also for the benefit of other people. It's really important to switch it off.
Yeah.
Because if you're with like your partner or your best friend and they're not doing medicine, and you know, it is important
really
just to switch off and be like, I'm gonna turn that bit of my brain off because they deserve my full attention.
Yeah, that's also like really good advice.
Yeah.
Because obviously Jack and I will be doing long distance, so he'll still be in London, I'll be in Birmingham. And I've like made this like a mental promise that there have to be times that I just turn it off and say, okay, this weekend is just going to be like quality time.
Definitely.
Because one of the worst things I think you can do, because I made this mistake in the past, is kind of like leak your work slowly into your rest time until it takes over and you don't realize that it's happening. Definitely. And then you burn out basically.
100%. And I mean, it's good because it's a good thing because you end up being productive. You end up like you add to your success, to your life. But yeah, it's like a double-edged sword. You have to, it's something like we all have to be aware of that. I think with medics. And sometimes I have to. It sounds bad, but I have to even force myself to like go out and go to the bar with my friends or just chill with my friends, you know? Because I think with like your friends,
energy,
it does, yeah. And like with medicine, there's always a deadline. But with your friends, you never make a deadline. So even like now, I have to sometimes like it makes sense to like schedule my time with my friends.
Yeah.
So if my friends like, oh, let's meet, I put it in my schedule because that adds a deadline for me.
Yes.
And that's something I have to do, you know?
Yeah. No, that's actually that's like a really good thing.
Yeah.
Like with my friends who I have in close proximity, so obviously Kenji's on campus, my other close friends Felix is on campus, and my other friend Maddie, we meet up regularly, like once a week, once every 2 weeks, something like that. So with you guys, I don't set dates, but with other friends, what like we tend to do, like as soon as I've finished hanging out with that friend, I'll say, let's schedule in a date for like in 2 weeks or in 3 weeks, and we might not stick to that, but at least we have a guideline, and I feel like it's done wonders for my social life, because I'm somebody who's really extroverted, but because I get obsessed with my work sometimes, like a week could go by and I won't leave my room.
Definitely.
And I'll be totally content until like the 7th day, until I feel like I need friends, I need to speak to someone.
I need to go to the shops and buy some food.
Yeah, no, come on, Deliveroo.
Oh,
there's just a fat Atousa just rolls out after 7 days.
But no, that's true, and yeah, I think like we're obviously very social people. We like having we love our friends, but sometimes they can be the bottom of your priority, and they need to be. Like so the other day, right, I don't know if I told you about this, but the other day we had this thing where it was like a mindfulness day on campus. So instead of going to GP, we had like a mindfulness session. And it was actually really good. Like normally when they force us to reflect, I don't really like it as much. It was so good, and what we did is, we had this exercise where...
Get comfy too.
Yeah, we had this exercise where the lady asked us, and I encourage you guys to do it as well, but the lady asked us to write down 8 of the things that we spend most of our time doing.
Okay.
So we wrote down all, no, before that actually, sorry. She told us to write down 2 things that are most important to us in our lives. The 2 most important things out of everything. So we wrote that down, then we moved on to the thing where she asked us to write 8 things that we spend most of our time doing. And then once we wrote those 8 things down, she told us to sacrifice 2. And then sacrifice another 2. Then I was like, goodbye, Mum, I have to sacrifice you. No, joking. I'm just joking. I'm only joking about it.
I'll edit this.
But yeah, so she told us to sacrifice another 2. And then right until we had 4 left. And then she was like, by this time it was so hard to like sacrifice even more. And then she was like, okay, sacrifice another 2 and just stay with 2. And then what she asked us was, are the 2 things you wrote down in the beginning that you said are the most important things to you, the 2 things you have now, where you spend most of your time doing? And for me, they weren't in line. And it made me realise that, yeah, it's pretty good. And it made me realise that actually what matters most to me in my life, I don't necessarily spend most of my time doing, which is important sometimes, but it made me, you know, think about my priorities and where I want to spend more time.
Yeah.
You know.
And obviously, I know this is a personal thing, so you might not want to share, so don't feel like you have to.
Yeah.
But could you give us some examples that people could relate to?
Definitely. So the 2 important things I think I put down was family. Like family relationships, like my family friends, and my faith. So that's like religion and stuff like that. Those are my 2 important things. And then my 8 things I put was like, so obviously medicine, like my career. It was music support to me. It was my friends, family, gym, so my like health in general. What else was it? What else did I put down? YouTube. YouTube was actually down there as well. And then the last 2 I put down were, what else do I spend most of my time doing? Yeah, some similar to that. I can't remember the last 2, but that's what I put down. And the last 2 I had that I spent most of my time doing, I couldn't give up, I think, was family and relationships. So that was one of the things I'm matching. And the other thing was socializing, I think it was. So it was something like that.
Okay.
Then I realised actually I don't spend most of my time in faith as well. So yeah.
That's a really good exercise, actually. I would encourage you guys to go and do it as well and see what you think.
Yeah, it was really interesting.
I'm gonna add that to my save for later file.
Yeah, do it, Jack, because like now you know it. You might predict the answer.
No, that's true. Yeah, I might.
But I did it with like my best friends, and they're all like, "Oh wow!" Like I actually didn't realise that I'd spend 0 time on the thing that's most important to me.
Yeah. Okay, I'm glad you brought this up because, and you know, I'm just going to stop and start this because I don't know if my camera's going to zone out. I certainly hope it's in focus, otherwise I am not going to be a happy girl. Okay, backing to the video. Backing into the video. Okay, we press again. So you just mentioned about mindfulness, and it's just reminded me of something. So I have had conversations with other medic friends who have said that mental health is a big issue among medical students.
Oh yeah, definitely.
A, because of the high pressure environment. B, because you know you put yourself under scrutiny a lot, and I feel like a lot of students in general, but especially medical students, can be very hard on themselves and thinking, I need to know more, and there's no limit. So as you already said. Definitely. And finally, I know you're in 2nd year, so maybe no, you do see patients and stuff. You do
3 times a week.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I'm talking rubbish. And you see distressing things. You see ill people. You see insights into people's lives and their difficulties.
Yeah.
What's that like? Like, have you experienced? Obviously, this like mindfulness thing is a really good thing. You guys can think about it. But do you think there's enough support for like mental health for people, etc.? I don't know if you can take the conversation wherever.
Yeah, I mean, so to start off with, I think mental health is a huge thing. I think they said something like 50% of medical students like go through depression in their 5-year journey of medical school.
I've heard that, yeah, which is scary. That's a lot. That's a lot of people.
It is quite scary because like we're always under pressure with like exams, always like needing to know more, and also, as you said, like seeing patients and seeing unwell people. And like sometimes like when I'm in hospital, you see like the worst, like most saddest thing ever. Especially when I was in psych. When I was doing psychiatry, that was the most like mind-blowing thing I've ever seen, where these patients are just so unwell in their, just mentally so unwell, and that can be quite tough. But I think the outlook that I take on it, and the outlook that I try to like take on it, is that you're there to help people, and if you weren't there doing the job, if the doctors weren't there doing the job, they'd be in a worse state. So I try to take that and not to remember that I am helping people, and also to remember that it kind of makes me appreciate my life more. So like one of the patients I saw a couple of weeks ago, he was living his life normally, and then one day he slipped in the shower and he fractured his spine, like C3 I think it was. So he's completely paralyzed.
Really? How old was he?
He was young. He was like in his 40s, I imagine. I think he was in his 40s.
Really scary.
So it reminds me, like, your life can change like that, And sometimes, like, when I'm on geriatrics and I see like old people that are very ill, it makes me like really miss my family. Because you think like one day that's going to be me. That's one day that's going to be my family. And I know that sounds a bit dark, but no, it reminds me of like life is very precious, and like there's, we don't have unlimited time. So I leave the hospital thinking, okay, I'm really glad that I'm healthy and I'm doing well, and I have and also I'm blessed with the opportunity to be in med school, to become a doctor one day where I can help people like that.
No, definitely.
So it's tough. It is really tough. I think it'll probably be worse when I actually am the doctor who's saving lives, and the lives are more in my hands. I think that'll be harder.
It's that responsibility, like you have more of a sense of responsibility, I guess, when you are at that stage.
Yeah. So when I'm in my final year, when I'm a doctor, I think we'll definitely record another video, and we'll see if that's changed. But
episode 2 in 5 years time.
Yeah.
But how many? 3 years.
It's like 2 years and 9 months now. So I finish my finals and become a doctor. So it's actually not far. It's crazy.
That is mad.
We finished January of 2022.
Yeah.
So it's less than 3 years now, so the clock is ticking. Which is why I'm like traveling so much, because I'm like,
enjoy
2 years and 9
now
months left, until...
Yeah, exactly. Man. Well, okay, well that's good to know, because at least... So, I mean, the question I wanted to ask was about like how much support the university provides, but no, I think your answer is better, because ultimately it is more of a mindset thing, and you don't necessarily have to, I feel like you have a very healthy mindset when it comes to medicine, and I think it's good. Like, I learned a lot from you. So do you think that's just like wisdom you've acquired from friends or people, or have you like read this somewhere? Has somebody explicitly told you? I
don't know. I think so. One thing is obviously being grad. So being 3 years older than everyone else in my course.
Yes.
I went through a lot of life experiences being in in biomed that have brought me to where I am.
Yeah.
So I know, like, I've dealt with relationships and like socially and friendships and all of this stuff. So that definitely helps helps you build up understanding of life and different pictures of life. I think also like growing up in Kenya and seeing less fortunate people, I think that also builds up a certain outlook on life as well.
Yeah, I think that your background for that, because I can relate to that too, for sure. I think that plays a really big role into it, doesn't it?
I think so.
Because you mature and you have more of a contrast.
Definitely. And also, I think just like there are loads of different services in university that can help you out when you have emotional problems or mental health problems. But also just having a good group of circle of friends that you can talk to. Because you're surrounded by medics and your friends are experiencing the same thing as you. So at the end of the day, like me and my friends, like last night, I remember I called my best friend Sean, my other best friend, and we had a conversation. He's a medic as well, and we had a long conversation about just the patients we see and what we're struggling with. So I'll ask him like, "Oh, Sean, what are you struggling with?" And I'll tell him what I'm struggling with. So you make good friends who go through the same thing as you, and just having really, really good friends like you as well that you can talk to things about, and that really helps.
And I think it's like, I sometimes joke and I say that certain, like I might call a friend, I haven't done this to you, but like sometimes I'll call a friend up and I'll be like, okay, so let's hang out. It's not a social hangout, it's a therapy hangout. Are you okay with that? We don't call it that, but I feel like we have those as well. I'm just like, I just need to vent, like I'm really like frustrated or like anxious 100%. Or something.
Yeah, so you need that. And your family as well, I think the people around you can be a huge support to, to what you go through. I think it's really important to have that medicine.
And I think in general, when this is something again I've learned being a grad, and you might be able to relate to me. When you're an undergrad and you go into medicine, your social priorities are different. So for me, it was like, who can I hang out with? Who I can like go out with? Who's fun to party with? Who's fun to just like have fun times with, I guess. Whereas now, I feel like my mindset has changed. While those things are definitely important, and obviously you want to have fun with your friends, I also value being comfortable with your friends and being able to talk about deep things.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I definitely, especially like when I was younger, I definitely had the kind of friends who were like great friends. Like we would have such great times together. But we would never sit and have a conversation like we're having like right now, even though we're having it on camera. You guys get to join it. But I don't know, did you ever feel that?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I remember like in my undergrad, like in the first year especially, where you want to meet everyone. You want to, exactly like you said, you just want to have people just to talk to,
hang out with, go to parties, like meet people through people. Yeah, and
that's really important as well. It's really important to go through that, because you end up meeting friends that you make for life. And then, but I think now also, like as you said, I think I have different groups as well. So I have my group who I absolutely love so much, and we spend a lot of time together, we party together, and I can talk to them about deep things as well. Then I also have my best friends who I know we can have these conversations with, who we can go out and party and have fun with, and also I know that if I need them or if they need me,
you can cry into a hamburger or something after the night out, like
like having a kebab in the kebab shop after that out. No, that's true. I think being grad, I definitely look for different things now, and I agree completely.
Yeah. So I mean, if I could go and tell myself something from when I was 18 is not necessarily make different friends, but invest in your friends more. Because obviously when you first meet somebody, if you start trying to have loads of deep conversations, it's just a bit like, whoa. But there are a lot of people where I just feel like, you know, I wish I'd opened up more, because if I had opened up, maybe they would have opened up to me, and that like party friend might have ended up becoming a life friend rather than, you know, like that's, so true, that's the way I think about it.
That's really true.
So yeah.
Yeah, like I think like one of my friends, Sean. So he'll be on my channel soon. Actually, we're gonna record videos Saturday.
Oh.
But yeah,
Sean's great.
So she met Sean on my birthday as well, and so he came to the UK and he was like an international student. Like you'll hear his story, but and he had no family here, and he said to us like having like me and Richard and some of our other friends here was like his family, and yeah, he said like it really helped him like mentally, in his mental health, just having people like that. So I think it's really important to try and find that in medicine, and in uni in general, in life in general.
Definitely, no, I definitely agree. So I think from this conversation, and I hope you guys have taken something away from it as well. I think what I'm getting is, in order to go into medicine, it's less about what you practically have to do. Because when I first got my offer, I was like, that's it, I'm going to start like studying like right away. Then I was like, Atousa, calm down, like you're going to have 4 years to learn all of these things. Spend this time like working on your mindset, spending time with friends, like having fun, like going around and seeing places in London that you haven't seen and stuff. So I think what I've kind of come to, the conclusion I've come to is, in order for you to be prepared for medicine, and let me know what you think about this, I think it's just important to go in with a good mindset. And I think I'm going to try my best to get that good mindset from now until I start.
That's true, that is really important. I think being a doctor is more than just doing a good job. You know, I think you can have all the skills in the world and be like the best doctor practically, but actually being a doctor is about developing yourself so you can be great with anyone. So there's obviously the academic side. There's also the human side to it. And so one thing I think a lot of people work on in medicine is they work on their practical side and
the
knowledge side. But some people also forget to work on the other side of medicine, which is really important, which is developing the ability to talk to people, developing the ability to withstand different struggles in your life. You know, like it's really important to work on that side too, which I try to, because I remember when I first came to King's, I was like, I want to be a great doctor, but I also want to make sure I'm a great people person. So I want to meet friends, and I want to develop emotionally to deal with different things. You know?
And I mean, like briefly, like we were talking about this off camera, and this is what we were saying, like we should have filmed this. So when just talking about YouTube alone, so I was saying to Kenji that recently I'm trying to reach out to more people who are on YouTube, people who are in London, people who are like, you know, who are studying, they're in the similar life situation as us, because I think it's so important to like build those bonds and communicate. And not only is it useful because you may end up making a friend, or it's just nice to meet people, but also, as you said, like it's like building that social muscle of, I mean, I've spoken about this, and Kenji did the same interview at Birmingham. One of the stations is literally, here's a medical student, go and talk to him for 2 minutes. That's part of the interview, right? Because they want to see if you can walk into a room and just have a conversation with somebody you don't know. That just shows how important it is, right?
Definitely. I think like even like so me traveling to Budapest, you know, that is even I think something that made me a better doctor, because you become more cultured, you become more socially aware. You have you learn life experiences like the one I told you guys about, where you help people on a bus. So all of that I think adds to your ability to become a good doctor. More than just the academics.
You just add to your social repertoire, if you like. And I think that's equally as valuable.
Definitely. Because like that bus situation now has taught me how to deal with stress and how to deal with struggles like that in such an acute setting.
Exactly.
So you learn stuff. So you just learn life skills really.
But you know what, my drink is empty. We both had a chai latte, so we may have to call it here. But yeah, it's been really nice chatting, and I hope you guys have enjoyed hanging out with us, if you like.
Definitely, we should definitely do more of like just chilling and chatting situations. They're so nice, just like, because even for me to like reflect and for you to reflect on life, you know.
And also, I don't know if any of you if you've gotten this far, you probably will agree with us. I don't know about anybody else. If you've gotten this far, comment chai latte.
Chai latte.
So we know who's a chai latte gang. But no, personally, I love watching videos like this because, like, you know, when I say like do dishes and I'm like doing something in the background, listening to a podcast or something, this is the kind of stuff I listen to because it's just it's relaxing.
It's true. I'm gonna listen to this tonight as I wash my dishes. Once uploaded.
Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed hanging out with us. Let us know if we could do this like regularly because these are niche videos. Not everybody will sit and watch like 40 minutes of us just chatting about our lives. But Chai latte gang, guys. Leave a comment down below. Okay, should we wrap it up here?
Let's wrap it up.
Go and watch Kenji's video as well, and we'll try and put these up at the same time. But yeah, basically Kenji quizzed me on my journey to medicine and I've gotten in. Isn't that exciting? Yeah,
I really want all my subscribers to hear that story, so come watch it. I'm sure like all these subscribers already know your story, but she gave some major keys in there, so I don't even
know what that means. I'm not cool enough for major keys. Okay, so we'll sign off here.
Cool.
And I guess we will see you in the next one.
See you guys in the next one.
Like, subscribe, sub, all of the other things that we have to say. Bye!